Hey everybody, Jeff Simon here for SocialFlight with another cool building stage on our Titan T-51D Mustang. And today we are doing something truly cool, and that is the canopy. Now you saw earlier we put the windshield on. We've got everything starting to get ready for the canopy. And this is it. So let's give you a little bit of an overview of how this really works. The canopy itself, of course, is a molded component. It's all, it's made of a form of plastic, be it plexi or acrylic. I'm not sure what this particular one is, but it's all molded into place. And what we need to do is, I'm going to remove this. It has the protective coating on it. And I'm going to put this on the floor for the moment, very carefully. And what we've got here is the frame. And so this is the frame that's used. It's extremely light. You can see there's one hand aluminum. It is very strong, but very, very light. And what you have is it starts with the bow around the top. That goes in the front, of course, of the canopy opening. At the bottom, we have these attachment points. This is where it's actually going to ride in the tracks and get cranked, pulled forward and aft. And then you have these two support beams that go all the way around the back. Now, at the back of the canopy, if I spin this around here, we have this section here. And this part has a little bit of area where a fitting and attachment's going to go. That's going to go to the rear track. So what we need to do is get this fitted and attached to the canopy. To do that, we're going to measure all the different points along this as well as along back and start to get it all fitted in. Now, there's another component. I'm going to step over here and grab it. And that component is this. This is the edge cap for the front of the canopy. So you have the plexi that we just talked about, you have that, and then you have this finish piece that goes along the trim in the front. All of that mates into the windshield area. So we've got to mark everything that's going on here, and then I'm going to start drilling into this. Basically, when you are mating materials where one is much softer than the other, and in this case, we're talking about plexiglass and steel and aluminum. And so we're going to want to drill the aluminum first, have all of the holes in that. And only after that can we go through and match drill to the plexi, because we want to go in very carefully through that just to match it. The other thing that matters about that is that there's different types of drills that are used for metals versus plexiglass or acrylic. It's a very special drill that doesn't have a split point. It has a very specific point to it with a curve as it comes down. You can get these at a number of suppliers for aircraft tools and aircraft tool supply is, I think, where we got ours. And as you do that, you create that in a way that it doesn't cause cracking in the plastic. So again, the steps we're going to go through, we're going to start marking this out and then go in and get the holes drilled on this, then match drill the canopy to that and start clecoing it into place. Now, when you get further aft in this, a lot of contours start changing. It's not so simple as coming in from the sides. And as you get back further, it also doesn't match up perfectly with the curve of the canopy. And so we'll have to put some spacers in, and it's all attached with screws. So we're going to go through that. That's the process that'll get us to this stage of the canopy. And then in further videos, we'll get to stuff where we show attaching it actually in place. And then what is one of the most delicate and most difficult operations is creating the canopy skirt, which actually really rounds it all out so that everything's tight when it's closed into place. And that's a little different for every single airplane, so there's a lot going on there. But for now, we're going to do something super cool and get this attached to the canopy, so let's get to work. All right, so the holes are drilled in the frame, and now that's fitted in place, just kind of clamped in place here on the canopy. And you saw how I did that in order to get those holes pre-drilled so I can match drill through the canopy to fit that. Now, one of the other factors is that we've got this aluminum trim piece that's going to go over the forward edge of the canopy here, and I wanted to kind of see where the holes would best fit in that, so that the forward edge, which is folded over here, comes down and then meets the tangent, the furthest point on the round tubing that makes up the frame for the canopy. And so to do that, I made this test piece, which you can see right here, which is essentially a sample piece of that. So, and then I tested different holes and see actually where that works. So that's how I was able to measure where I wanted that to lay out. And now I'm going to put down that canopy piece, and now it's time for the really nervous part, which is drilling the first hole in this canopy. Actually, every hole I drill in this canopy is going to be nerve-wracking because these things are expensive, hard to replace. You don't want to scratch it, you don't want to do anything to it. And you certainly don't want to drill a hole in the wrong location. Now, when you go to drill holes in plexiglass, acrylic, PVC, anything like that, you always worry about cracking it or starting stress risers that will turn into cracks. And so there are special drill bits that you use for that purpose. And what they mainly change about the drill bit is it's got a really interesting angle on the front. It's very long at its point, and then it kind of curves into that point. And so this is it right here. Very difficult to see, obviously, a small 1/8 inch drill. But I'll tell you right now that the tip that's on that has that point, which is really interesting. And so that's what I'm going to chuck up here and then get drilling. Let's see how I can do this better. All the major holes are drilled right now. It's on the frame, very rigid. And now I'm going to be able to see how this starts to frame up as it sits in place. Let's go check that out. All right, very cool build stage. The first time the canopy is actually sitting on the Mustang fuselage. We're gonna get a lot of trimming and fitting and figure it all out. Then we've got to build the mechanism. And then last will be the canopy skirt, the metal that goes along the base here, does that three-dimensional curve in order to fit this all out. And that's definitely gonna be an art form. Until next time, be sure to check out SocialFlight.com and the free mobile apps for Apple and Android devices. We have tens of thousands of aviation events destinations. We've got our Fly to Win Challenge where you can win prizes. We've got our FAA Learning Center where you can get wings credits for the courses there. Or if you're a mechanic, you can take our programs that will get you Aviation Maintenance Technician Award Program credits. Or even if you're an IA with an inspection authorization, you can go and do your recurrent training through SocialFlight, get legal certificates used towards your renewal. That's it, and until next time, I'm Jeff Simon. I wish you all blue skies.